Here we are at the last video in our mini course. It has been truly such a privilege, and I'm so glad, right? We are so glad that you're here with us on this last video because we want to cover something very important, and that is, with all the effort that you're going to put in, that you have already put in to stopping your abusive behavior, what possible good could come out of all of this? And depending on where you are in your journey, you might be in a place where you're like, there is no way anything good is coming out of this. And I really understand that. I definitely had times when I felt like this is just a giant trash heap, But whether you can hear us just a little bit or you're in a place where you can hear this a lot, we want to spend at least a little bit of time on the good that can come out of this. So Karen, you said a little bit earlier, but what would you say is the good that's come out of this for you?
Well, for me, I think the biggest thing is the possibility of having love in my life and having really good relationships with people that I love. And I think if you heard the channeled message that we shared, in that message it was saying how the people closest to us, the ones that we love the most, have this special kind of position in our lives where they get access to our wounds and the places in us that hurt the most. And so it is those intimate relationships where we have the potential to be the most destructive. But now I just have confidence in myself that I can have those kinds of relationships and not be destructive, which really is everything to me, because that's what matters to me to live by the end of my lifetime. So I think that's huge. But if I took it like on a collective level more, a couple answers came up.
Yeah.
One, just that we're really living in a world of trauma. We're living in a world where most people have experienced abuse and have either gone on to be living their life from the vantage point of victimhood or from becoming an adversary and an aggressor. So that's the whole world. Like, that's what we're living in. It's so normal. It's so everywhere around us. And it just seems like, wow, we really have this opportunity to break that cycle. And I don't think that's ever happened in the history of humanity. It's incredible. And I think what comes of that is the possibility of having personal power and creativity. Like taking that energy of the monster within and befriending the monster, and then maybe even playing, like having this life force liberated to create with and to do so much with. Like, wow, we can create so much. And even if I look at this last year where I've done a big chunk of this work, last year or two, my creativity right now is just freaking skyrocketing. Like, there's so much that is being created in a more powerful way than ever before. So I also think I've accessed more of my power, and it's very exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting.
It is so evident too. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at Karen's creativity outside of this, I really encourage you. It's a beautiful example, especially if you're wondering what's possible for you after you have transmuted some of this energy. I'm such an admirer of your creativity. It's extremely gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I would say that for me, like, what good has come out of this? What it's like to no longer be abusive is to be my whole self. When I look back to 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was still behaving like this, that was only part of me that was really living. In the dark behavior, I was trying to like bury and suppress. So the things that I was creating, although they might have been okay, it wasn't all of me. So now I can relax into that I'm living my whole life. And that, I mean, it's pretty priceless. So the change also, I would like to say from my perspective, I'm curious what you would say to this, is that people ask, does the change last? The thing is that after you've done this work, you might think you're never going to be mad or mean or angry or have, flooding again. That's not true. You very likely will. Lots of crap happens in the world, right? And your emotional pH can get, watch the news and that can create tension in your body that floods you. The difference is that you will know how to handle those situations. You will start to trust that it doesn't matter what happens, that you are no longer a person who behaves in harmful ways towards others. And so that's another wow. That's another wow good thing that can come out of you persevering and doing this work.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going to be the person who is like, hi, yes, everything's good.
Right.
Suppressing.
Right.
That you're actually going to be able to handle it in a real way that addresses the intensity and that harnesses the power.
Yes. Would you say a little more about that? Like, is the result of this course and the work that you're doing, is it supposed to make you into like a very polite, meek person? Is that...
No.
No? Okay.
No, and even I notice just how you communicate. It's very clear. There's requests. There's noticing what's working and what isn't working and saying it. There's a genuine back and forth where we're meeting each other, even in places where it could be a little sticky. So I think that's the kind of thing that becomes possible. And that's a real relationship. That's a real relationship, because a relationship where you're not really saying what's going on is first of all very lonely, but also you're not really connecting. So there's not even a real relationship there.
That's so true. Yeah, I really treasure my relationship with you.
Yay!
Oh,
Me too.
yeah. A couple of other things that are good that can come out of this. Well, guess what? The people that you're harming can heal. And their life force, their self-confidence, their sense of self-esteem and worth can heal, and they can live their real, true, whole lives as well. That's pretty incredible if you stay the course and you get to your week and your 30 days and you become a person who no longer puts people down, or your children if you have them. If you're a teacher and you're in schools with children, the ripple effect of no longer harming other people can be really exponential. It's not just that you're not behaving badly towards others, it's that the good in those people's lives can also be released. The life force part. You mentioned collective earlier, like the societal collective. So maybe this is another point to make, and that is, we see a lot of violence out in the world. And again, you might not be able to hear this in this particular moment, but perhaps you'll remember it. When we see violence out in the world, or when I see violence out in the world, I know that there was a mom or a dad to that person who behaved violently, right? Whether it's a person that went to caused something bad to happen in the world with gun violence, or someone who is in public office, a politician who is, trying to do something that harms people, or it's just other general behavior that's harmful, I know that there was someone in that person's life, or many someone's, who, if they had not been abusive, those negative societal results would not have occurred. Am I making sense?
Yep.
So even though right now this is very much about you, we are here to support you in your day by day change of your behavior. Know that so much good can come out of this, and that change can really last, and that change can really happen. Lots of good.
Yeah, and I think that would be a really cool journal prompt from this, is just like for you to write down what are the positive impacts if you from this day forward become a person who doesn't harm others in your relationship. What are the ripple effects? What will happen in your life, like for the people around you?
Beautiful. I love that journal prompt. So here we are at the end of our final video, and we just want to take a moment now to congratulate you.
Yay!
Yeah, well done. And thank you so much for accompanying us through these videos. This is not the be-all, end-all. Obviously, we're giving you lots of other resources for you to take from here. This is a wonderful start to planning your menu of support going forward. So we welcome you to stay in touch. Karen does such wonderful work with people on bringing out their natural genius and their superpowers, but also a lot of other things. So maybe, Karen, would you take a moment and tell us a little bit about the work that's lighting you up?
Sure, absolutely. Well, in this context, definitely if you're at the place where you want to take and get more into your gifts and like how you want to bring them into the world, that is my genius. Is to help people extract their genius.
It's true. It's so
Thank you.
Thanks.
But I also do one-on-one work and work with the body-mind connection. So having, if you wanted to do healing work in that way, then that would be through one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
And how about you?
Thank you. Yes. Well, I have been doing quite a bit more work with people individually as a coach to really implement the tools that we've talked about in these videos. It's one thing to get the information, and then it's a whole nother thing to be living your life week by week, trying to sort out and reflect, respond to the people in your life as you're trying to change your behavior. So I've been doing a lot more of that work, and it's really gratifying. I heard from a client just the other day that their husband said, "Wow, you've never backed down from an angry outburst like this before. Whew, what you're doing must be really working." So it's the kind of thing
That's so awesome.
that I've been doing. So yeah.
I think that's a good note to end on, because it's just, yeah, we really can stop being abusive by being together, by learning together, by getting support, by committing to the process and doing all the things that we talked about in this mini course. It makes all the difference. It really works.
It really works. So we hope you'll stay in touch, share your wins, and we will see you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
And how about you? I'll start again.
You just winked at me. I'm like,
Did I really? Oh, I didn't even do it on purpose.
so cute.